Life a la Latina presenta Socialiciando. Sí, Socialiciando. Con Alicia Civita.
We're in the same
I
ocean.
know, I was gonna say, I like your background.
We're connected. How are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm very, very good. Thank you. I'm so happy to be talking to you because I want to know, how did you create this creature, Tinkerbell, that is so different? And I love that you're gibberish. I heard some Spanish in there. How did you make her?
You heard it. It was so fun to create this character because while I haven't ever played a character that's quite like me, Yara, as an individual, they've always been close. It's always been a 20-year-old doing 20-year-old things. So to play a fairy in an imaginary world was a whole new space to play in. And so it was a lot about figuring out how to be so expressive, and how to use my body in these ways to be able to communicate. And like you heard, I literally used a mixture of Spanish, English, Farsi, and Old English whenever I was speaking, in order to just make sure that my mouth was not moving in a way that was so obvious to people. But I think it was about stepping into set and being open to whatever happened and whatever the scene called for. Kind of had to get rid of any sort of idea in my head of what felt right or wrong, because she's a fairy and this is not our world. And so
And she's crazy.
yeah.
And she is what we would call now a little bit toxic.
Only for a second. Only for a second. She comes around.
Yeah, but she's kind of obsessed with Peter. So.
Hey, Tinkerbell's always been obsessed with Peter.
I know. Now I'm obsessed with you. I've been doing research with your interviews, and you sound very serious in your interviews. But it's not what I'm seeing now. So I want to know, what's your silly pleasure? What do you, how does your age come out in you, in your life?
My silly pleasure is pretending like I'm in music videos all the time. Like, I'm always listening to music. I just learned last night that it's not common to play music off of your phone in public spaces when there's nothing happening.
What were you doing?
Because I was playing music. My friends and I were walking down the street, and I was like, there's nothing to listen to. Let me turn some music on, pretend to be in a music video. And they're like, who is playing music off of their phone right now?
And people were like, who is this?
This was the second time it happened to me in the last 3 days. Somebody just made a comment like, who keeps playing music off of their phone? But to me, I love music, and I just love, like, I've always just wanted to be in a music video, not as a main character. If I'm being so honest, I just want to hold like a stack of money and be in the background of a
We
video.
gotta make that happen. That sounds like a hip hop video or un reggaeton. Do you know what reggaeton is?
Of course.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, we're gonna call Bad Bunny for you.
Say less. Let me know. I'm there. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Now, I love how you embrace diversity, and that is a word that kept being said about the movie. But in my experience, when people say diversity, it's just they put different people there that look different. But you said that this was different, that it was intentional, that they created real worlds for the characters. Tell me, for Tinker, my God, my English is gone after I talked about reggaeton. In your character, how does that intention comes out?
Well, I think, to me, the reason I signed on to this project in the first place was because of how thoughtful everyone was and how thoughtful David was in creating this new Neverland world that is much more diverse than the Neverlands before. And like you said, it was so much more for all of them than about just saying, okay, let's put new faces in because this is what we should do or we think we should do, but truly thinking about, if the Lost Boys were kids today, what would they look like? If Tinkerbell is this express, what would she look like? What would Tiger Lily look like? What would Peter look like as a young boy that came from London and then went to Neverland? And so I think that intentionality comes out in everything from how my character looks. We maintain the classic Tink bun, but she has little curls sticking out and she has certain braids that you maybe miss at first glance. But I also think just in terms of the storyline, it's much more female forward and about friendship, whereas Tinkerbell and Wendy and other storylines didn't really get along for so much of it. There was this almost competitiveness. And so I loved just in subtle changes. Tinkerbell's still protective of Peter. That's still the person she looks out for, but yeah, but the relationship that she has with Wendy, I think, is a great example of how naturally this story was changed, where you still get the fairy tale you love, but through those subtle differences are able to create a new idea of what these relationships and people can look like.
I love it. Yeah, she's not a mean girl anymore. So finally, tell me a song that you have in your playlists that represents Tinkerbell.
Ooh, that's a great question. I think it would be, I'm trying to think of a song that I had on my Tinkerbell playlist. I think it was a song by I listened to a lot of Solange while playing Tinkerbell. I also loved there's a song, What Shouldn't I Be? Okay, so I listened to Solange, Things I Imagined, because I think that was just too fitting. The entire song is talking about things she's imagined. And then there's a song called What Shouldn't I Be by Sampha, I think. And
so in your honor, I'm gonna play it on the street today.
Okay.
I'll tag you.
Make this a thing.
We're out of time, Alicia. Thank you.
Gracias. Besitos.
Bye.
Bye.